Okay, we are going to talk about enhancing eyes. Enhancing eyes. Now, her eyes, April's eyes, look pretty spectacular here. We used this image on a skin retouching tutorial earlier, showing the difference in a great way to retouch skin. But this time we're going to talk about her eyes and really make them spectacular. You might think they look great now, but just wait till you see when we're done. Now, what I'm going to do, the very first thing, I want to make sure that we have the layers palette showing. The way you can do that is either hit F7. You can come up to the window option at the top and click layers and make sure that it's showing. But then once you have the layers palette showing, you're going to click on the background layer, and on a PC you will hit Control J, and on a Mac you would hit Command J. So we've now just created a second layer. What I'm going to do now, I want to zoom in so we can really see her eyes well. Now, this tool down here is the zoom tool. It looks very similar to the dodge and burn tool up here. Don't confuse the two. We actually want to use this one down here, the zoom or magnification tool. Now I'm going to zoom in on her eyes. Now, again, like I said, you think they look fantastic, but just hang out, wait and see what's about to happen. The first thing I want to point out, to me, it looks like her pupils are very small. Very, very small, because she's looking into bright light. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create new pupils. Now up here, we have the rectangular marquee tool is usually what shows. We're going to come down to the elliptical marquee tool. And what I do, I've got this set right now to feather at 5 pixels. It's going to depend on the image size that you're working with. So you'll have to fiddle around with that a little bit. I'm working with a fairly small image, mid-sized small. So I'm going to go with 5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw, basically, I'm going to select a new pupil around her current one, but I want it larger. I want to cover the old pupil. So I'm going to just grab right around here, and I'm going to draw a slightly larger pupil. Now I'm going to come over here and do the same thing on the other side. Now obviously you want them to be pretty much the same size, like that. Now what I'm going to do is fill these with black. Now you want to make sure the selection is feathered. So I'm going to come up to Select, Modify, and Feather. And again, I'm going to go with about 5 to feather the radius. If you click the Q, you will see that by pulling up a mask, you will see just how feathered out and soft the edges are, which is great. Now what I'm going to do is come back and fill this with black. Now you make sure down here that your foreground color is black and your background color is white. Then you'll just come up and fill. Make sure you're using foreground color, you're not using any of the other options or content aware. Make sure you're using the foreground color of black and fill it in. Now, it might look to you, I'm going to deselect, it might look to you as though I've screwed up the image a little bit. Hang out, wait and see what's about to happen. I'm going to switch these two now so that white is the foreground color. And I'm going to select a very soft edged brush. Very, very soft edge. You do not want the hardness at all on this. You really want it to be very, very soft and not a large brush. And I'm going to come right inside the pupil, and I'm going to just take a little dab on each of these. And about the same area of the pupil. You don't want the catch light to be in one place on one pupil and another place on the other. Now, I'm going to come back over here. Now we're going to use the dodge and burn tool and not the zoom tool. We're going to come back over here and we're going to select the dodge tool. Now, I have my exposure at about 22%. You really don't want to go too bright. I have it on mid-tones. And what I want to do is I'm just going to click and drag right around the new pupil that I drew. I'm going to go over it several times. And I'm just lightening the area around the pupil. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing over here, around her new pupil. Right in the iris, I'm just lightening the area around the pupil. All right, now I'm going to come back over here to the burn tool, and I've got it set on shadows, and again, the exposure is around 27%. Everybody's taste is different, and I'm going to burn right around the edge. Burn right around the edge just to make sure those eyes really absolutely pop. And then let me zoom out so you can see what the image looks like. Look at her eyes now. And remember how we thought they looked good before? Now let me go to the before by turning off this layer. That was before. That's after. The eyes just really look like they pop by comparison. Here's a good side-by-side example of the eyes before and after. And you just see how much more spectacular they are in the after. So this has been a fun tutorial. It's a fairly easy one. And I hope that you will leave comments below. If you have any questions, you can always email us at info@fstop.club. And please join our YouTube channel. Have a great day.